All right, hi everybody. I did my presentation on culinary nationalism. Super quick on the right is a photo of this restaurant in Jerusalem called the Eucalyptus Restaurant. I just go ahead and look it up. It's just all of these chefs from different backgrounds throughout all the conflict and controversy and content like tension in Jerusalem and Israel, Palestine, and all that. And they all came together and cooked this amazing food despite all of their different backgrounds and origins. So I was just looking into it. It's called Eucalyptus. All right, so for food, culture, and politics, oh my gosh. So, just food and culture are insanely intertwined. And as I put here, that each country or community's unique cuisine can reflect its unique history, lifestyles, values, and beliefs. And I just think that's so true. I mean, food is culture, and culture can be, food and language and all of these things, but food is so important and it's just so widespread now. So, for instance, migration of people from around the world, I believe, has led to the globalization of most local cuisine. So, you'll find American food maybe in Ethiopia, and Ethiopian food in Germany, and sushi in Germany, and German food maybe in Japan, and all of these things. And I just think that that's really interesting and really cool and great. However, it can lead to certain I think tensions or wanting the rights to that food and things like that. And there's more that goes into food than it just being food. So for instance, a recent CNN poll found that Thai food is actually the most popular cuisine worldwide, with pad Thai and Thai green curry being the most desired. I think that's really interesting. So on the lower right, I showed a photo of pad Thai. And then I also believe, or I think, so I wrote here that tensions rise in places, um, the tensions are high. All right, let's see. So, okay, yes. So I wrote that in Jerusalem, where tensions are already high over the land and the war and the religion and all of the conflict that's into these, uh, already involving all the politics and things like that. Even food is a source of conflict, and I think that's really interesting. So people really don't know where hummus came from. Is it Israeli? Is it Palestinian? Is it Lebanese? Is it Middle Eastern? They don't really know. So it just goes to show that food often will have an identity, an origin, nationality, culture, history that's associated with it. And it's often overlooked as a representation of culture and identity. So all of these groups and different leaders and cultures, if you will, are claiming, oh, we made hummus. Hummus is ours. Like, we know how to make it. It's ours. Everybody took it and made it their own, but our culture made up hummus, or this is ours. And they don't really know. And I just think that's so cool that that hummus now, or it's not cool, but hummus has become so, like, it's all over the world now. I thought it was Greek. What do I know? But I mean, I knew it was somewhat Middle Eastern, but um, I mean, even food has an identity, and it has a place in culture, and it's very important. And it's so cool. Um, so of course, there's gonna be some controversy surrounding the local cuisines all over the world. So, for instance, foie gras is a French delicacy made of fatty duck or goose liver. And it's usually a male goose, and what they do is they force feed it through gavage several weeks before they slaughter them, which is pretty sad. But what they're doing is they're force feeding it to try and enlarge the liver to make it fatty and how they want it. And actually, foie gras can only be made through gavage. So, like, if you just have like a naturally, I don't know, fat bird, it probably won't be considered foie gras. So it's basically considered unethical in multiple different countries around the world. It's actually banned in a lot of European countries other than France, because the production and consumption of foie gras in France is protected by law, since they are part of the protected cultural and gastronomical heritage of France. So foie gras is such a French dish that they feel they are very proud of, and it really represents France. It's completely allowed, completely legal, because that's what they feel represents them, and that's what they feel is part of their identity. And I think, despite the animal ethics and things behind it, I think it's important to support that, and to support you know this identity, and that you have something that's yours. It's French, and it's important to respect that. So I really think that's interesting. Foie gras, it's like a paste, or it can be like pate. I showed a photo on it. photo of it on the lower right. All right, so as for my experiences abroad, I've not gone to Germany yet. I'll be there in about 3 weeks, but I'm really interested in the German local cuisine and food. I'm really excited because, of course, I have my ideas of what it's like over in the US and having been to German pubs or, I guess, beer halls and things like that. So I'm really excited, beer gardens, but I'm really excited to have some German food and really see what that's all about. And then, from my friends, some of my German friends that I have, they're talking about how, Germany actually is, they're not becoming vegan, but there's a lot of vegan, like it's becoming a lot more popular, vegan restaurants. So I'm kind of wanting to try that because why not? I know that's not like a cultural thing, but I'll try the vegan stuff. And then, really last point, really quick point, and I really find the link between food and holidays to be really interesting. For instance, in my family, always on Christmas morning, we have tamales. Um, uh, I know tamales are somewhat of a Latin American or Mexican or origin or heritage, but my family's always eating tamales Christmas morning. I associate tamales with Christmas morning. I love them. So I find that really interesting. And I know a lot of people in the US do that as well. And also I'm Irish. My last name's Murphy, so we love to celebrate St. Patty's Day always. Well, we have, the corned beef and cabbage, Irish stew, Irish soda bread, all of the stuff, Guinness. And it's super fun for us, and we kind of make a party out of it. But I know that in Ireland they don't do that. It's more of a they started to make it more of a party holiday, but overall it's a pretty religious holiday. There's not a lot of going to pubs or parties or beers, getting a lot of beer, getting drunk, and all things like that. But in America, it's one big party. So I also think that's pretty interesting. I mean, of course, they do have some parades and festivals in Dublin, but that's relatively new, as you can see by my slides. Um, but yeah, and then here is some of my questions on culinary nationalism. I know I went over this pretty quick, but we had a pretty quick time limit. I hope that you guys learned something about food and culture and how important it is to understand that food and culture are very much intertwined and they relate to each other. And certain, countries want to claim these dishes or food, but now it's all worldwide and widespread and globalized. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something, and thank you very